Benjamin Cueva from Dine Microsoftware Incorporated. I am your speaker for today. This is my first time to share my ideas, so please bear with me, guys. So our topic for today is all about the basic of style components. I know some of you already know about style components, but let me share this to you, especially for beginners. Um, what is style components and how it works? So style components utilizes tag template literals to style your components. It removes the mapping between components and styles. This means that when you're defining your styles, you're actually creating a normal React component that has your styles attached to it. So enough so much talking, and let's start. So opening a terminal, then let's point to document, and then in creating React app, use this command npx create React app, and then name of your project style components. Okay. So by the way, let me share to you of some motivations about style components. Style components is the result of wondering how we could enhance CSS for styling React component system. By focusing on a single use case, we managed to optimize the experience for developers as well as the output of for end users. Okay, I think we have a problem here. Npx. Oh, okay. We miss a one letter here. So motivations for a style components is the result of wondering how we could enhance CSS for styling React component system. By focusing on a single use case, we managed to optimize the experience for developers as well as the output for end users. And style components provides automatic critical CSS, no class-based bugs, and easier deletion of CSS, simple dynamic styling, painless maintenance, and last but not the least is automatic vendor prefixing. So let's just wait. So it's okay now. And then CD, and then name of your project, style components. And then code that. Code that is a shortcut for opening a Visual Studio Code. Here. What's this? Then save. And then yarn start for running your project. Let's close this. So here, let's just minimize the size. And here. So let's just remove the unnecessary files here. The app CSS logo and these 5 files, and then in here remove this. We no longer use this, also this, and the CSS index CSS is, let's put it in the bottom. So save, and then the index CSS, let's add a CSS here for all elements, box sizing, border box, margin 0, padding 0. Okay, so save, and then in app.js, let's remove this, import React from React, and then function, then return, and then div with hello text. And don't forget to export the app, then save, refresh. So the hello text renders in the browser, and then so next we will install the style components. So by the way, there are two options of installing style components. You can use npm or yarn. So if you are using npm, use this command, npm install -- save styled components. And then if you are using yarn, use this command, yarn add styled -components. So since I am using yarn, I will use this command. By the way, I am using Visual Studio Code. So okay, and then back to the node. So what we're gonna do now is to we have to create we have to change this, replace it with button, and click and then so the button renders in the browser. So what I'm gonna do first is to create a component wrapper. Wrapper style, let's call the style components this and div. So I am using div because the div is the very common use in the parent element. So div, and we will add some CSS here. Height to 100, and what else? A background of let's try beige color, and so I want the button to be centered in the in the div element. So I will add here a display flex with align item center. This is for the alignment for vertically, and the justify content, the alignment of horizontal alignment. So let's make it center. So I think this is good. Then this div, replace it with wrapper. Wrapper. So let's save. So here the CSS or the style components, CSS render in the DOM. So here, as you can see, the flex CSS together with the width and height and background So let's make it to white, and then let's add another style components for button. Style that button, and then let's add cursor pointer, because button needs a referred cursor pointer, and then display inline block, and then outline unset. This is to reject the focus, and then width of auto, and then height of 48 px, and then padding of 0 and 1 rem, 0 for top and bottom, and 1 rem for left and right. And background color, teal, and border 1px solid teal, and border radius of 4px. What else? I think let's try button and replace this with button component. So save. So as you can see, the button changes its UI. It turns to a somewhat green color. So let's just add a color for color white, and then font size of 1 rem, and then letter spacing of 0.5 px. What's this? And then okay, let's save. So as you can see, the text changed to white, and then let's add a hover effects. A background turns to white, and then the color to teal. So let's try. So it's nice, and then we will add transition all, and 0.2 seconds ease. So there is a smooth transition in here. So next is we will duplicate this button, and let's try what it looks like. So the button, so let's add in the wrapper a gap of 1 rem. It's too big, so let's reduce. So gap of 0.5 rem. So I think that's okay. And gap is just like a margin that the children give its own space in between. And then next is we will implement the adapting based on props. So we will pass a props here, for example primary, save, and then here in the bottom component, let's we call this one pass the props of primary. And then if primary, the background is teal, and if not, the background color is white. Remove space. So I think same scenario with the border. Save. Let's try. Why it doesn't render? Click me. Where is the others? Okay. So I think should not include the borders. I see. And then also we have to include the color, because the color is not visible. So paste it, and if primary teal, you have to change this to white, and this is teal. So I think okay. So here, as you can see, the this is the primary button with the same hover, and then the other button is the same CSS for hover, so we have to change the hover effects also. So we need to copy this, or just hard code it. Props, or props dot primary. If primary, the color is white, and teal if not, and then let's try save. So perhaps primary teal, so it's white, and then over. I think you have to include this. Primary over teal white, then clear. Let's back it to white, and then here over white. Okay, I see. So I have to change this. Let's change it to teal, and this is for white. So as you can see, the primary button with a background of teal, and the hover effects and the background changed to white, and then the ordinary button has a background white, and if you hover it, the background changed to teal. So next is the extending styles. So we have to create another component that extends the current button styles, or the button component. So we have named this to grape color, or grape button, and styled, let's call the button, or the current button, and then this is happen when you this is happen when extending styles quite frequently. You might want to use a component but change it slightly for a single case. Now, you could pass in an interpolated function and change them based on some props, but that's quite a lot of effort for overriding styles once. So here in the example, the tomato button uses the existing button components, so uh, it just override the color and the border color. So let's just try. So the color is violet, and background color of indigo, and then grape button, replace this button with grape button. So let's see. So as you can see, the third button changed to a indigo color background, background color of indigo, and the text of violet. And to change the hover effects, you have to override it. So same scenario with the current button component. So color, I think we don't have to change the color. It's only the background. So background color, props that I think no need to use the props. Use white. So let's see. Okay. So we have to copy the color because the color of the button component is white. So that's why when you hover the third button, the color is white. So we have to copy the color of the current color in grape button. So save, and then and then you have to add also here the border of 1px solid of indigo, and we have to copy this in the hover effects. Save, border 1px. You have to change this to violet. Okay, so the current button with this grape button, the grape button that overrides the color and background of the current button component, it's because call this one. So here, to easily make a new component that inherits the styling of another, just wrap it in the styled constructor. Here we use the button from the last section and create a special one, extending it with some color related styling. So that's what happens here. So back in the VS Code, so let's try another one. You can also, the fourth one is the using as props. So here we can see that In some cases, you might want to change which tag or component style component renders. This, this is common when building a navigation bar, for example, where there are a mix of anchor links and buttons, but they should be styled identically. For this situation, you have an escape hatch. You can use the as polymorphic prop to dynamically swap out the element that receives the style 0. So here, in the fourth button, you just add the as props, and you can swap any element, for example A, or let's say div or label, anything you want. So for this example, I will use A, and let's save. What will happen? So let's inspect this. So as you can see in the DOM, the button changed or swapped into A tag, and then since A is not the same with button, so that's why the text is placed on the top. So let's just add in the button component with let's try display flex, and then align items to center, save. So the click me text is now centered in the button. And then what else? We can also, the last part, we can also pass a color. So what we're gonna do now is you can add any props you want. For example, a BG background color of white, and then I think we have to create another one here. Color. We have to change this thing. BG color. Paste here. So if white, you have to change this to teal. What's wrong with this? Okay. And then same with here. Use white to remove this and place with teal. So this one white, which color? Let's remove this for a while. Let's comment out this first, and then color teal, background white if true. I think you have to change this also. Props that BG color, if color is white, change back this to teal. Let's have a try. So as you can see, if there if you perhaps a background color of white, then you can see in the in the browser that the background is white, and then the color is not changed. So let's make this to or to teal. So let's remove this and change to teal. So here, and then in hover effects, still the same. So we have to change this to white, and then save. We have to change this also to teal. Remove the condition, and then so yeah, it works. And then I think that's all for the basics of styled components. For more info, visit styledcomponents.com. And thank you for watching, and God bless.